Roll.
Trustee Berger.
Here.
Trustee Garvey.
Here.
Trustee Zalick.
Here.
Trustee Geiser.
Here.
Trustee Fruzzoloni.
Here.
Trustee McCarthy.
Here.
Mayor Savarino.
Please rise and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the March 7th, 2022 Village Board meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Trustee Geiser, seconded by Trustee Frusaloni. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Hold a Berger.
Trustee Geiser.
Here, aye.
Trustee Fruzzoloni.
Aye.
Thanks.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the March 7th, 2022 special workshop meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Zalick, seconded by Trustee Berger. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Here and aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geiser.
Aye.
Trustee Fruzzoloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. We don't have anything in the listening post, correct? Nothing there.
We have received no electronic comment submissions.
We do have one item on the listening post from the Carroll Stream Fire that I asked our clerk, Julia Schwarzy, to read into the record.
Certainly. Carroll Stream Fire District press release for immediate release dated 2/1/2022. The Carroll Stream Fire Protection District is proud to announce that it has recently been designated as an ISO Class 1 fire department. ISO, which stands for Insurance Services Office, evaluates over 40,000 fire departments across the United States. This evaluation takes place every 5 years and is an in-depth look or audit of that particular fire department. Some of the items that ISO looks at during the evaluation are personnel, apparatus, stations, equipment, emergency operations, training, emergency communications, pre-planning, public education, and water supply. When ISO has completed a fire department evaluation, they rate the department on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being considered as superior property fire protection. These evaluations are available to insurance companies who may use these ratings in establishing insurance premiums. Carroll Stream Fire District is one of 27 fire departments in Illinois that is an ISO Class 1 and one of 411 fire departments in the entire United States that is an ISO Class 1. The entire evaluation process was overseen by Deputy Fire Chief Tom Nash and took a little over a month to complete. Fire Chief Rob Schultz states that this new rating is because of the hard work put in by the men and women every day who work for the Carroll Stream Fire District and support from the Fire District Board of Trustees. Chief Schultz is very proud to be a part of such an excellent organization whose focus is to provide the best fire and emergency medical services to the people we serve.
Thank you very much. And we have a proclamation designating March Women's History Month, and Trustee Frusaloni asked to read that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Proclamation proclaiming March Women's History Month. Whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And whereas American women play a critical economic, cultural, and social role as a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout our history by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force, and were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions. And whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas American women served our country courageously in the military and have challenged the stereotypes and taken on new responsibilities during times of war. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolishment, thank you, abolitionist movement, I apologize. Abolitionist movement and emancipation movement and industrial labor movement and the civil rights movement and other movements which create a more fair and more fair and just society. And whereas the Village of Carol Stream is grateful to the women who have served our community and our nation and wishes to acknowledge these contributions, which at times of our history have been overlooked. Now therefore be it proclaimed that Mayor Pro Tem Matt McCarthy and the Carol Stream Board of Trustees, DuPage County, Illinois, in the exercise of its home rule powers, does hereby proclaim March Women's History Month in Carol Stream and encourages all residents to take time to appreciate and admit the many contributions women have made to the success of our nation. I apologize for that.
Thank you, trustee Frusaloni. Do I have a motion to establish a consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Frusaloni, seconded by trustee Berger. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey. Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Giesers.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Madam Clerk, it's all yours.
Thank you. Staff reports and recommendations. Engineering Services Agreement for Oversight of the Fullerton Avenue Water Tower Painting and Repair Project. Approval of the Engineering Services Agreement with Christopher B. Burke Engineering Limited for construction engineering services for painting and minor repairs to Tower Number 4 in the amount of $43,846.
We're gonna pull that off for clarification on some changes.
Okay, that has been pulled off. Approval of Amendment Number 6 to the Agreement for Operations, Maintenance, and Management Services of the Water Reclamation Center in the amount of $2,037,002 for the period May 1st, 2022 through April 30th, 2023.
Yes.
Yes.
Award of contract for the 2022 Flexible Pavement Project to Arrow Road Construction Company at the bid unit price of $2,444,495.50.
Yes.
Yes.
Approval of Coon Road Bike Path Design Supplement Number 2 in the amount of $7,491.
Yes.
Yes.
2021 Drainage Improvements and Public Detention Retrofit Project Change, approval of change order number 1 with Scanlon Excavating and Concrete, Inc. in the amount of $30,027.80 for the 2021 Drainage Improvements Project.
Yes.
Yes.
Approval of the Summer Concert Series Alcohol Concession Agreement between the Village and Carol Stream Rotary Club to provide beer, wine, hard seltzer, and hard cranberry lemonade during the 2022 Summer Concert Series at the Ross Ferraro Town Center.
Yes.
Yes.
Formal request to purchase 3 vehicles for police administration. Approval retroactively for the purchase of 3 vehicles from Joe Cotton Ford for a total amount inclusive of dealer fees of $105,595.72.
Yes.
Approval of a professional services contract with FGM Architects in the amount of $39,400 for design and construction documents and not to exceed $25,000 for services related to bidding and construction administration on the Police Department Interior Renovations Project.
We're also pulling that one off. We don't have hard numbers yet, so we will approve it at a later date.
Okay, that has been pulled off the consent agenda. Ordinances. An ordinance correcting scrivener's errors in ordinance 2021-08-33. This ordinance would correct typographical errors from ordinance 2021-08-33 related to Article 5, Section 8 fences of the Unified Development Ordinance.
Yes.
Yes.
That is ordinance number 2022-03-16. Resolutions. Resolution declaring surplus property owned by the Village of Carroll Stream, a 2006 Dodge Caravan number 657 within the Police Department.
Yes.
Yes.
That is resolution number 3240. New business, amplification permit, Carroll Stream Chamber of Commerce. Approval of an amplification permit and waiver of the fee for their Taste of Carroll Stream to be held on June 11th, 2022, from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Ross Ferraro Town Center.
Yes.
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 Raffle license application, Spring Trail Elementary School PTO. Approval of a raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond for the raffle to be held on May 2nd, 2022, with pre-sales starting April 28th, 2022.
Yes.
Yes.
Raffle license application, Medina Shriners. Approval of a raffle license and waiver of the fee and manager's fidelity bond for their raffle to be held on April 24th, 2022, at the American Legion Post 76 Hall.
Yes.
Yes.
Payment of bills. Regular bills, March 8th, 2022 through March 21st, 2022.
Yes.
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 Addendum warrants, March 8th, 2022 through March 21st, 2022.
Yes.
Treasurer's report, revenue expenditure statements and balance sheet for the month ended February 28th, 2022.
Received.
Received.
And that concludes the items on the consent agenda.
Before we move on, I would like consideration to add a new item under new business. We just received word that there may be availability of some squad cars from Ford. We had previously placed an order for 8 squad cars under another manufacturer, and then we were notified that they could not fulfill the order because of supply chain issues. We were just notified through the chief that Ford Motor Company is going to be supplying police departments with squad cars through the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative. Unfortunately, we have to have a purchase order ready by this Friday, so it's a short time period. The total purchase for the 8 squads would be $38,200 each, or $305,000, which is fairly comparable to what the board previously awarded.
These are Explorers, Chief? We're good with that? I know we're kind of limited right now on our choices, but we're good with the Explorers?
And we had approved this previously, but because.
The order got canceled.
Correct.
Correct.
So if we-
Everybody, is everybody good with it? Yes?
what was it, a couple thousand per vehicle, the other bid through Dodge, but these ones are coming with lights pre-installed, whereas the other ones didn't. So maybe 1,000 or so per vehicle difference in cost.
Yeah, it's literally a couple thousand. I think the total price on the Dodge order was $297. So, and we are upfitting them. They're coming from Ford with a little more of the lighting and installed already.
Yeah,
The warranties are the same?
I'm sorry?
Warranties are the same?
new vehicles.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Proceed.
okay,
Okay, so that's part of the consent agenda.
yep.
Yeah, but you will end up having to bring back.
We'll bring back the formal
The
contract.
formal vote.
Yep, yep.
Is there a motion to put those items on the consent agenda?
So moved?
Second?
Moved by trustee Frusaloni, seconded by trustee Geezer. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garby.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Is there a motion to approve these by omnibus vote?
So moved?
Second.
Moved by trustee Frusaloni, seconded by trustee Garvey. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garby.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. All right, the item that was off was the agreement with Christopher Burke Engineering. Would you like to go over why we pulled, or
Sure.
what we had to do?
The, when the village approved the fountain
agreement with Christopher Burke, we had negotiated changes to their general terms and conditions within the document. And when they supplied this document to us, they did not include those changes. So we went back to them and asked them to provide us with the same terms and conditions as were in the Fountain Agreement, which they agreed to do. So you have in front of you the terms and conditions that are the same as was agreed upon with respect to the Fountain Agreement. So the only reason for the change is that these would be substituted for the terms and conditions that they had originally provided to us.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve item H1?
So moved?
Second?
Moved by trustee Frusloni, seconded by trustee Geezer. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Berger?
Aye.
Trustee Garvey?
Aye.
Trustee Zalick?
Aye.
Trustee Geezer?
Aye.
Trustee Frusloni?
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy?
Aye. All right, on to report of officers. Trustee Berger.
Thank you for remembering me this meeting. I appreciate it. I'm excited to share some final details on the bags tournament. Well played. Just kidding. Congratulations again to you and your team. I was there for most of the nights.
Absolutely.
To help out, although you never really needed my help, so I just ate tater tots and drank root beer and talked to people. But it was another great event, and I know you'll have some exciting things to share on that. On the subject of Women's History Month, my mom was very strong, and you might think, just because I was her son, that would automatically define her as being very strong, but I was her sixth kid, and she never let up, through 6 kids with doing the flashcards, getting on me if my grades weren't good enough, and all of that. So proud to have been raised by a strong woman, and that definitely transcended into my daughters, because sometimes they're stronger than I wish they were when they're dealing with me anyway, but when they're dealing with boys outside the house, I'm glad. So I just wanted to recognize that. Wanted to congratulate Purdue on making the Sweet 16, because I know everybody cares about that. Looking forward to a 15-minute budget meeting, and I think it's safe to put away your snow blowers for the year. Right, Mary?
Didn't we talk about this last meeting?
Bill, I apologize. He did go through retraining in the last 2 weeks, but it didn't take.
Thank you, trustee
I
Berger.
had to. I have not taken the gas out of my snow blower yet, just for the record.
We see how it is.
So he's going to come to all our driveways. I like it.
Trustee Garvey.
Are we going to have a formal recognition of the Fire Protection District achieving that ISO award?
This will be it tonight.
This is it tonight? Okay. Well, then I'll just offer my congratulations, because I know how difficult that must have been to achieve. There's no representatives here, but anyway, congratulations on
We have a
the effort.
former.
Kind of one.
Former one, yeah.
He didn't count.
That's the end of my report.
Thank you, trustee Garvey. Trustee Zalick.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. First off, I too would like to congratulate the fire department on reaching this wonderful accomplishment. I mean, 1 out of 27 Illinois departments and 1 out of 411 fire departments in the entire United States. That's a pretty outstanding accomplishment. I talked to some of the trustees on the fire district, and they said that they couldn't have done it without the water department, and so it's good to see 2 individual tax entities working together for the good of the residents. So congratulations to all who were involved with that. My son, Sam, plays for the Bloomingdale Bulldogs 14U travel team, and I had on my Facebook page a little fundraiser to dine for the baseball team, and they raised $500 in one day at the our Village Tavern and Grill, the original neighborhood eatery. And I want to thank everybody who took time out of their Sunday to go to the restaurant, eat some wonderful food for a great cause. And I would like to have everybody keep the first responders and military in their thoughts and prayers, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, trustee Zalick. Trustee Geezer.
Thank you. I, too, would like to congratulate the fire district, because this hard work proves that we have such a terrific department to watch over all of us. And it comes down to dollars and cents. It will help in many cases with business as well as residential insurance rates to potentially be less. So congratulations and thank you for your hard work. I'm very happy. We did the Women's History Month proclamation. I'm glad we're recognizing that. And as people know, I'm big on history and history of our area. Carroll Stream and the area has always had very strong women. We have a very strong woman trustee. We have very strong women here within our village staff. And we had one of the first women superintendents in the state was a superintendent of District 93, Elsie Johnson. She's more than just a school building. She was a real person who was a superintendent back in the 1950s, up until her retirement in the 80s. In doing some research, and again, you know, women know this better than any of us guys would, but in doing the research on her in newspaper articles, they don't call her Dr. Elsie Johnson. They don't call her Elsie Johnson. They don't call her Mrs. Johnson. They call her Mrs., her husband, I can't remember his name, Mrs. Richard Johnson. So times have changed, but they haven't changed. So I think doing proclamations like this is a little step moving us in the right direction, and it's a good opportunity for us to recognize, like your mother and your daughters and all of our wives and daughters and mothers, the strong women in our lives. I've been mentioning the parade. Don't forget, you can sign up to be in the parade. It's July 2nd. Go to carrollstreamparade.com. And I don't know, Bob, are you going to mention Hubert Watkins?
I can.
Or do you want me to?
You can do it,
Okay,
since
well-
you did a historical piece on him.
I did. Hubert Watkins was a police chief in the village from 1972 to 1970, portions of 72 to 74. He passed away recently. The village was informed last week at the age of 97. He was a very interesting cat. John, did you know?
I got hired in 92, and I've run into him as he would come and visit. And yes, he was an interesting individual, but very nice. Always, would love to talk about police work and everything. But he was welcoming, and he was very nice guy.
Yeah, he lived on Shawnee. He was very good friends with my father, so I knew him pretty well. And I had an opportunity to do a historical interview series about 10 years ago, and I interviewed him and some of the other police chiefs at the time. And quite a character. One of the things he said, and Bob and I were talking about this earlier, he said back in the early days, the village needed a little money. We put in a new stop sign and then put a squad car. So for years I grew up on Thunderbird. There was a stop sign at Thunderbird and Yuma for years that you always had to be careful of. So, and another story I remember is that my dad was a firework freak, loved fireworks. But some neighbor kids on the other side of the creek were shooting off firecrackers. So Hubert Watkins came over to arrest them, or not arrest them, but to confiscate them and to ticket them. And then next thing you know, my dad apparently started shooting off fireworks. So Watkins jumped over the creek to go over to get to my dad, but he missed and he landed in the creek and he just ended up cursing my dad. So rest in peace, Chief Watkins. There'll be a service for him on Wednesday at Bruss Funeral Home from 9 until 11. So if anybody would like to attend, that would be terrific. And that's my report. Sorry to take so much
No
time.
problem. Thank you, Trustee Geezer. Trustee Frusaloni.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Just to keep things interesting, I decided to sit on this side of the mayor tonight, so I'll move back on that side for the next meeting, but I wanted to give some love over here if anyone's interested in why in the world did Mary decide to start switching seats, sorry. I was very honored to read the Women's Month proclamation, and I'm just going to apologize for the mistakes that I made reading it. I am still recovering from brain surgery, and apparently some of my cognitive speech skills are still redeveloping post-surgery. So I apologize. It's something I'm very conscious of at home and now mortified about at a board meeting. So I'm just going to ask for everyone to just forgive me because, I mean, it was a very important thing for me to be able to read. I texted Matt and said, don't you dare let anyone else read it. Like the guys were all clamoring for it, I know. But I just want to give a shout out to the women in my family. And actually, probably a bigger shout out to my dad because he was the father of 3 daughters. So he taught us, don't take any stuff from anyone. And the world is yours as long as you work hard for it. My dad was my biggest supporter when I said to him, Dad, I'm running for village board. I'm going to be one of the few women in the history of Carol Stream to be a village trustee. I don't know if I'm going to win this thing or not. And he said, of course you are. You're my daughter. So I've been very honored to be up here for 11 years representing women and showing the next generation of young ladies that if you set your mind to something, you can do it. So I just wanted to say sorry and thank you. Congratulations to the fire department. I think I understand this ISO certification almost as much as firemen do because my dad worked very hard for the Skokie Fire Department, and at the time, I want to say the highest they got was a Class 2, and that was even a really big deal because they went from like a Class 4 to a Class 2. So I know the hard work that goes into it. So just a shout out to the fire department. What a great achievement. And yes, it's going to make our village even better. In our weekly report, we got an update on our fundraising efforts for the concert. And Tia, you are knocking it out of the ballpark. We're a little over, what, $20,000?
Yes, we have raised a little over $20,000 of the $30,000 needed to cover the concert series, and we also have another level of support that we're working on right now that we're excited and will be announcing soon.
Okay, so can I announce the part about our sponsor for the fireworks? Is that a done deal?
Solid. I haven't gotten final.
Okay, so
everything's signed.
So
Please
stay
cross
tuned because when this goes through, I will say that this is going to be an amazing partnership, and it didn't surprise me in the least bit. So stay tuned. When we get that finalized, we'll make that announcement. I know a lot of people have been asking on Facebook and social media what they can do to help the residents of Ukraine. And I know that there's a lot of businesses and organizations that are taking up collections. This past weekend, my husband and I visited St. Andrew's Ukrainian church in Bloomingdale. I am of Ukrainian descent. My grandparents belonged to a parish in Chicago, so very familiar with the Ukrainian traditions, and I have to tell you, it felt like stepping back in time. We went there because on Saturday mornings from 8 to 2, you can go and get homemade pierogies and cabbage rolls and kolachki and smoked sausage. I will tell you. I will tell you. So we stood in line. We got there, I don't know, about 10 o'clock or so, and we stood in line. And then my husband and I we walked him out to the car, then we went into the church to look at the church, and we got back to the car, and the car smelled absolutely amazing. And I opened up one of the boxes because it kind of tilted, and they were still hot. Like, they were like steaming hot. So I ate one, and I was like, I am back in my grandma's kitchen. So I will tell you, that is the closest to my grandma's cooking that I have had in, God bless her soul, 28 years since she passed. And never gave me the recipe. My grandma never wrote down any of her recipes. She did everything from memory because she made them about every weekend. So, but they are doing collections. They're doing collections of all kinds of things, especially things like wheelchairs, crutches, walkers, things like that. But in talking to them, they've raised over $150,000 in the last several weeks, last 2 weeks, I believe. In talking to them, what they said is their biggest concern with their collection drive is that it's going to cost them in the neighborhood of $400,000 to charter a plane and hope that the supplies actually get there. So what they've done is they've set up a GoFundMe account, and they said that actually that money would be the easiest way to be able to get it to the humanitarian efforts. But what an amazing effort in 2 weeks for them to raise over $150,000. And people were coming in and just saying, here, you know what, the line is too long, just take my donation. And it was so beautiful to see. I actually was crying for a couple of minutes because it took me back to my childhood. One last thing that I wanted to mention, and I think I've mentioned this before, that my sons and I, two of my sons and I, have had the pleasure for the last 8 years to be part of the Young Men's Service League, the Panther chapter. So we have an organization, we do our meetings at Glenbard North High School, and I have to say I'm a little sad because there was conversation this year of having to disband the organization because we didn't have enough members. And part of it, well, I can tell you, the vast majority of it is COVID, because normally where we get our incoming freshmen, incoming ninth graders, is going to the schools and being able to promote it and having the fairs at the schools, even at the high schools. And we've made an effort over the last 2 to 3 years to open it up and try and get to Bartlett High School, West Chicago High School, and let them know that this isn't just a Glenbard North thing. We just use Glenbard North's building. So it's not sponsored in any way by Glenbard North. It was just called the Panther chapter because that's the group of moms that started it. They had to come up with the chapter name. It's part of a national organization out of Dallas. So what YMSL has decided to do for next year, and their year starts May 1st, is they will welcome anyone. Generally, it's open to just incoming freshmen, but they're saying that they will take anyone, from freshman to senior. It's a mom-son service organization, so we go out and we volunteer with so many philanthropies in and around DuPage County. Christmas Sharing, Brittany's Trees, Humanitarian Service Project are just a couple of them, Northern Illinois Food Bank, Feed My Starving Children. So I just wanted to put out a pitch there because it would make me really sad if they had to disband next year, because I will tell you, I was fortunate. I had 4 uninterrupted years with each of my sons. I didn't have to share time with them because they had that gap in age. And some of the best memories I have was actually highway cleanup, picking up garbage on the side of Lee's Road and having the best conversations and getting to know my kids and getting to see them grow. I mean, it forced them to have to learn how to talk to adults, how to take directions. So, and they volunteered because they wanted to, not because they had to. So if you're interested, please go on Facebook and look up Young Men's Service League Panthers, or you can contact me, and I will be happy to get you in contact with the organization. I will tell you, as a mom, this was the best thing that I ever did with my kids, and my boys will both tell you that went through it. that it was the best 4 years that they had as well. And my one son has gone on to continue to volunteer in college. So it's a great, great opportunity. And with that, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I'm sorry for the long report. I will end my report.
Thank you, Trustee Frusaloni. Our clerk, Julia Schwarzy.
Thank you, Mr. Pro Tem McCarthy. So I just wanted to, like everybody else here, I wanted to congratulate the Carroll Stream Fire Protection District on earning that ISO Class 1 rating. It is truly an outstanding achievement, and it's, one more reason for Carroll Stream to be such a great place to live. So congratulations and thank you to everything they do. Also wanted to congratulate Community Development Director Don Bastian and his staff for the award that you guys just received. It was called the Soul Smart Gold Award, which is something that they were able to earn because of their efforts to make it easier for Carroll Stream residents to go green, to use solar energy. And so, great job, promoting environmental initiatives like that. I really appreciate that. Also, I wanted to make you aware of something that Finance Director Baytek just told me today, that he's starting to get emails from me on my village clerk email saying it's from Julia Schwarzy trying to get money from y'all. So just be very careful when you get an email that looks like it's from me. Take a good look at what the actual email address is, because we don't want you to get. So thank you for alerting me to my attention. No.
I've got one from Julia.
Also, I want to give a shout out and congratulations to my stepdaughter, Mackenzie Schwarzy. She is about to graduate from U of I Medical School, and she was just matched to Louisiana State University Hospital to be a doctor there. She and her boyfriend, who is also a medical school student, were both matched, and they will be starting their careers as doctors down at LSU. He is a surgeon, and she is Med-Ped, which is internal medicine and pediatrics. So congratulations to my stepdaughter and her boyfriend. And last but not least, I'd like to encourage everybody to keep shopping and dining in Carroll Stream. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Tia, got any updates you want to throw out there?
Well, as you all know, we have Geek Fest coming up, but we also have the Pond and Stream Sweep coming up. You can visit our website and sign up online to volunteer to help us keep our shorelines looking beautiful here in Carroll Stream. So come on out, do the Pond and Stream Sweep in the morning on May 21st, and then take a little break and come back for Geek Fest. In addition, you may have seen in some of the items that we had on the agenda tonight that the Carroll Stream Chamber is moving ahead with a Taste of Carroll Stream, and that will be on June 11th with support from the village. And we are very excited to give our Carroll Stream restaurants a chance to engage with the public and give everybody an opportunity to try a bunch of different food. So keep a look on our social media and our website, and we'll be providing more updates soon.
Thank you, Tia.
Thank you.
Our attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Last meeting, everyone received a memo that I did with respect to the economic interest statements. I know that there's still a lot of questions that are out there in terms of how to fill out those statements. They're very confusing. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to send me an email or give me a call, and I'll be happy to go through whatever questions you have. I'll put out some additional information for everyone as some questions come through, and we'll go through all of that with you, so.
Jim, some of us have talked, we're just going to have you do them for us, if that's okay. Okay.
You just have to give me all the information.
Thanks, sir.
That's all I have.
Our village manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Tonight, the village board approved the annual amendment to our wastewater reclamation center contract with Jacobs Engineering, who is our treatment plant operator. The base fee and capital expenditures were negotiated by Phil with Jacobs, utilizing a CPI table specific to wastewater treatment plants. What's in the contract is the CPI Consumer Price Index U for urban centers. So Jacobs offered this to us with a savings of $30,000 over what they were entitled to. So we're grateful that they suggested that, and Phil was able to negotiate that with them. Tia mentioned the Pond and Stream Sweep coming up. Last week, our native landscape contractor began prescribed burns around our ponds. So if you happen to go around them or walk, you can smell them before you can see them. But they'll be doing that through the end of this month, weather dependent. So if it rains, obviously they won't be able to do it, or if it's too windy. And just a reminder that our Public Works Department is still looking for summer help. I remember when I was a kid, I was always looking for outdoor work, Public Works or Park District. We're offering $15 an hour to cut grass and do some other manual labor around Public Works. So if parents are out there looking for work for their college students when they come back, we have work for them. And that is all I have.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to apologize ahead of time for a long report. Congratulations to the Fire Protection District and Public Works, because part of that ISO certification is, of course, the water quality and pressure, which our Public Works and the Water Department make sure is exemplary. So I want to congratulate you too, but it's a lot more than that, of course, for the fire district. It's their equipment and their people and everything else. And what it tells you is you have a first responder group that you can count on all the time. Their equipment's ready to go. Their men and women are ready to go. They're going to help you in the quickest possible time. So we are extremely lucky to have our fire district. The Women's History Month, as we've all kind of said, you know, we all have strong women throughout our lives, from all the way back to my grandmother, my grandmother, she didn't spoil us. My grandmother, you knew she loved you, but if you're at her house up on the farm, she's going to put you to work and say there's nothing wrong with you getting your hands dirty. Go feed the chickens or go take care of the cows. This woman lived to 98 years old, and until she was 90, she'd go out every day and go take care of the old people. That was her thing. And she was a hard worker, and it showed with my mother and my uncles and aunts, because they picked up on that. With my mom and then my sisters, the same thing. My mom took care of, a family of 6 of us, or 6 kids, and then mom and dad. Volunteered, exactly kind of as the read of the proclamation said. She was the lead in concessions and football stuff and baseball stuff. And, sometimes us dads get a lot of credit, and we always forget that it's the strength behind us that gets it done, which is the moms, the wives, the sisters. And I'm lucky enough that when I got married, I also married a strong woman who was not afraid to do whatever it takes to make her family work. And we brought up our daughter the same way. So I have a long line of women that show the strength that women should aspire to do. So we should absolutely celebrate the history of what women do, not just in our nation, but in the world. So last Wednesday, we finished our bags tournament. We didn't know what to expect. Shutdown, economy going crazy, the world going crazy, people not the happiest in the world. So we kind of didn't know where to go. We underestimated everybody. Absolutely. Our committee, which is myself and of Paul Zernicki, Trustee Frusaloni, Mike Arnone from Chrissy's, Mark and Jean Mondrala, Kim Martino, our kids Tim and Shannon Foley, the Sebalowski family, and of course my wife, who again I will brag about all the time. She makes it easy for me because she takes care of everything behind the scenes. But that group put together 10 nights plus a kids tournament, and we did help on the kids tournament. We had help from Nina Galto and Rosa Getzloff. Sorry, Rosa. And the staff at Chrissy's the whole time were unbelievable. And then, of course, we had our sponsors who jumped right into it, which is Chrissy's Gaming and the Sabalowski family, which is Bob, Chris, Jesse, and Ryan. Flood Brothers Disposal, New Traditions Funeral Services, which is Brad and Megan Burrows, John Denny and R&M Printing, Mayor Savarino and the Savarino family. And then we got extra help, like Trustee Berger actually made it really easy for me on some of the flyers that I did a really bad job on previously, and he fixed those. And everybody in this room, and quite a few people who work here, in some way, shape, or form were involved. Restaurants and local stores, the sell-from-home type groups, they were all involved. We raised to donate, we paid out about $600 in winners' fees at the end of the night. And after that, we'll be donating $31,700 to various... It was amazing, to say the least, how generous people were and the great spirits everybody was in every night. It was just unbelievable. We have actually a large group that we're donating to this year. Of course, our big one is the Relay for Life American Cancer Society, and then the Dominic Savarino Charitable Organization, the Corpus Christi Knights of Columbus, the Outreach Community Center's College Tour Program, the Carol Stream Parks Foundation, and one we haven't touched before is Breakfast with Babies out of Our Savior Church over on Army Trail Road. On the 13th, we were just going to kind of stop at places and hand it out, and Bob at Chrissy's reached out to me. He goes, no, let's do something more fun. I got some music, invite everybody, invite all the volunteers, and we'll make it a end-of-tournament party and congratulations and be able to hand everything out that way, which I thought was absolutely amazing. But all those charities will receive donations on the 13th to help our kids be able to be involved in whatever they want. Help kids whose nobody in their family's ever been to college before see what it's like and get a touch of the dream. Moms who struggle to even get their kids' diapers and formula, we're going to help with that. The Knights of Columbus pretty much helps anybody who needs help. And of course, the American Cancer Society and their research, and then the Dominic Savarino Foundation, which gives out multiple scholarships each year to Glenbard North. So the biggest thing we wanted to do is touch as many people as we could locally. The other two is, of course, the Carol Stream Police Department Special Olympics from the kids tournament, along with our co-host, which was the Carol Stream Soccer Club. They'll each also get a donation on the 13th. So, Chief, we need somebody there to accept that. I cannot thank everybody enough. And this has become an hour tournament. It really has. It's become a community event that everybody gets involved with it and has just so much fun. And to do that and then be able to raise that kind of money is heartwarming, to say the least. So again, everybody, thank you very much.
Would you like to mention what our previous record was?
2 years ago was our previous record of $26,700. So about a $5,000 bump on an off year.
During, and I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
piggyback
Oh, yeah,
on this.
absolutely.
This is coming off of COVID, when people have been unemployed, underemployed. We've seen just, financial devastation in our own community. But what we also landed up doing is we had less teams each night. So what that meant is people were actually spending even more than they previously had. I mean, we had people walk in just to buy raffle tickets and they walked right back out. And it was absolutely amazing. They'd be like, you know what, I got an extra $10. They'd walk past, yeah, give me some more raffle tickets. And by the end of the night, we were just looking at each other because our goal on the finals night was we wanted to raise another $2,000. We wanted to get over $30,000. And we landed up at $31,000. And we're all just staring at each other going, well, our original goal was 10, so I think we've done fairly well for ourselves. So we have increased our goal, obviously, for next year, but it was just, to watch this community come out it was astonishing. The level of raffle prizes, people just kept donating raffle prizes, amazing raffle prizes every single night. And, I mean, it was just residents who just wanted to do something. They wanted to be involved, and they're like, hey, I can put together a basket for you. And then these baskets were tremendous. So to everyone who donated to raffle prizes,
For every night, plus 30 for the $5 raffle.
yes, it was absolutely positively amazing. So I just wanted to say, I just wanted to mention that too, because that was another thing that was up this year over previous years. And
By
we
far.
didn't think that was good, that was even possible. So I just wanted to
Thank you.
mention that, so.
But, I honestly, I cannot thank Chrissy's and the Sabalowski family enough. On top of, and yeah, it's a win-win. You know, they get a lot of people in their restaurant on relatively slow days, but on top of giving us multiple raffle prizes, on top of feeding the committee the whole time we were there, on top of giving $50 in gift cards out every night for the first 8 nights. They're also there, they gave us 15% of the food and drink, and then rounded it up as a donation from themselves, so we'll get an additional check of $2,500. That's what brought us to the 31.7, was Chrissy's, on top of all that, giving us $2,500. So it was an amazing run, still a little exhausted, but still playing catch-up of doing everything at home. Linda's got a list. So, but again, everybody, thank you very much. And with that, we are actually going to go to a special workshop meeting after this. So it is just a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second?
Moved by trustee Frusaloni, seconded by trustee Berger. Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Berger.
Aye.
Trustee Garvey.
Aye.
Trustee Zalick.
Aye.
Trustee Geezer.
Aye.
Trustee Frusaloni.
Aye.
Trustee McCarthy.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. We'll take 5 minutes or so and get started.